This is Humgen. Our guest today is Muskogee National Council Representative Adam Jones III, currently serving the council in the B seat of McIntosh District. This is episode 3. We join the conversation already in progress. Your host is Duncan Davis. So you're a COVID survivor, and you were down for several weeks and very sick. Lots of prayers going up for you. What would you? Because we're right now we're in the middle of a second wave, and a lot of people are getting sick right now. What would you say to people who either they have COVID or they have family members that have COVID? What encouragement would you have for them?
Pray.
Prayer works.
Prayer works. But saying that is that, being inside the hospital for 11 days at Nottimonia Hospital, our health system, I think some people feel like our health system's not very good, but I have to brag on them. I can't brag on anybody more. I think that Sean Terry and the staff has done an excellent job of turning our health around. We were in the negative probably when Chief Floyd came in, 60 million plus in the red, to turn that around. Not saying that there's not improvements to be made, but even Chief Tiger, when he first came in, we were working on Eufaula Clinic, trying to get that done. Chief Floyd carried the torch and got Okemah Hospital built. Chief Hill actually, and with Sean Terry, they brought in the cancer treatment center, that hospital we just purchased. Right. That was a $40 million purchase, that instant gratification for our citizens, because it took 3 years plus to build Okemah, where we have a hospital today.
A state of the art.
Yes. And open today for our citizens. And
so is there renovation going on right now with that, or are the doors open?
It's open. It's open.
And that's in Tulsa, and that's at
81st and off 169, 81st.
Right.
And so you can't ask for a better facility for our citizens.
And it's already staffed?
They're staffing it right now.
Yes. So is it open receiving patients?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we got into the whole COVID thing, but you were talking a little bit about the things that would maybe be a negative strike, or even put you in a negative light, so you want to continue that thought?
Well, I could say that, I worked so much, and then after Christmas, came down with COVID, and not even knowing that I had COVID, waited too long to go to the hospital because I'm just, trying to be a man and tough it out. But I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't have the headache. I had a headache, but no taste or smell, no fever. I didn't lose all that, and didn't have the fever. So when I finally found out I had it, it was almost too late when I went to the hospital. But being in the hospital by yourself, and you're not around your family you have every day, kind of opens your eyes up to see that you need to take time. As I said, I work a little bit too much probably. My wife would say I do, because I work dark to dark.
And so you think that interferes some?
I think that the citizens think that, some of the citizens think I do, but I think my guys would tell you otherwise, because I'm on the phone all day long. I don't have to swing the hammer or pour concrete, because I've got the right help and staff that work for me that do that. So usually I'm on the phone taking care of people's needs all day long. Today I probably actually took care of 3-4 people, that needs that they have. It's kind of hard right now. Administration has a policy in place that you have to follow the chain of command, where you go to if they need help, you have to go to the speaker to the chief, and then chief. Right. So it's a delegated process, and makes it hard to help, but it's not to try to hinder a department. Those needs are there. I just kind of look at what's going to happen with COVID. As far as today, feeding our elders, people that are on commodities that get our food and are fed by the nation. What happens if that food runs out? If you go to the store today, the dollar store or any supermarket, it looks like the shelves are pretty barren and it's hard to get things. So, we talked about, and we've got the food processing plant. It wouldn't hurt to actually buy, a couple thousand steers or have some cattle in place. That way, when we butcher cattle and pigs, or pig or swine or whatever, we could feed our people with food. Also, maybe look at going ahead and storing food now, because it's always that what if. I think that some of the, we've talked lately, and I think Will O's usually saying better off to be proactive as reactive. It seems like we're on the heels quite a bit, and we need to be getting ahead of the game. So,
Well, maybe McGirt's going to open the door for us to be in a position to be more ahead of the game. Do you think?
I don't think it's a maybe. I think for sure
It's not if, it's
when.
it's when.
That's right.
So if you could write down 3 goals you would like to achieve. Let's say the election's over. You've been handed your B seat again. What are 3 things that you would like to accomplish during another term?
I'd like to see the taxes taken care of for the citizens where they're not paying income tax to the state, first of all. Secondly, I'd like to see us tax the businesses within the tribal boundaries. And thirdly, I think that we look at a way to enhance our businesses as well, grow that so it creates jobs for our citizens.
Do you think business owners, tribal business owners of businesses that the owners are tribal, they're citizens, do you think they should pay taxes?
To who?
Well, taxes too, obviously, because as far as you and I are concerned, and this conversation going on, the state is out of the picture.
That's right. That's right.
So do you think that they should pay taxes to
The tribe?
the tribe? Yeah.
Possibly. I think so. I think,
Not
everybody's
necessarily at a rate that the state
exactly.
of Oklahoma.
I think that
state of Oklahoma
it's a catch-22 on that. Nobody wants to pay taxes, but we still have to have programs, and we still have to fund those programs, and we still have to fund municipalities.
Do you not think that there are enough, especially in metropolitan areas like Tulsa, where there is literally a plethora of business that's not tribal business? I mean, if we want to just say the words, we own the Tulsa International Airport.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So don't you think that there are enough non-native businesses that could fund everything that needs to be done
By paying a tribal tax.
by paying tribal taxes without the citizens being taxed?
I think, looking at that, that's a tough question because, going back to the commission earlier, years back when we first took this case, I always said, a lot of different meetings, we need to be prepared. Let's get this done. Let's put a team together. Let's put an economist on there. Let's get judges, attorneys. Let's hit the ground running. And it was kind of a standstill. That never really happened.
You were talking about that very thing when you were running for second chief in the last election
That's
cycle.
right.
Yeah,
So-
that was part of your platform.
Right. And to say
We have
that,
to get ready. We were calling it Murphy back then. But
Yeah, it was a Murphy
yeah,
case.
we were talking
Win,
about
win.
We've got to get ready for
Win-win.
that.
Exactly. So the thing about that is, I believe you need to have some type of economist on there to give us an educated decision for all tribes, not just Creek Nation, to see where this will go on projections of if you pay your tax, if you don't pay your tax. So that way we'll know if a business owner should pay a tribal tax or no tax at all. A tribal citizen that owns a business within the nation pay a tax or no tax.
Because obviously sales tax are going to continue.
Right.
And I don't know, am I as a citizen going to just go up to the cash register and flash my citizen card and say I'm non-taxable? Or
Well,
and then
I mean,
non-citizens go
those-
to the cash register and they say, okay, you're paying a tribal tax.
Well, those agreements have to be made with the cities because those cities will still be in our boundaries. So you don't want to run the city down because the city still has things they have to
That
pay
bills
with their
to pay.
tax. So they'll have a city tax and ad valorem tax, that pays for, programs within the city. So that tribal tax would, to me, take the place of the state tax.
Which brings us to the other thing that is on the list, and I didn't know if we would be able to get to it tonight or not. But technically, if we are collecting these kinds of taxes, we're not just enriching the tribal government. We're talking about having maybe some of the best paid school teachers in the country.
Well, that's a different outlook on it, because you don't know what the state, there's different leverages you can do with that, I believe. And, I don't know if everything needs to be told right here, which way you would like to go, because, it builds a state up with with the wall against us sometimes.
It does.
But those are negotiations we need to
those
talk.
are certainly things that are on the table.
They are.
And need to be addressed.
They will be addressed.
And you're going to address them
with the council.
With the council in the next session, right?
Yeah.
So is there anything you want to ask the citizens?
I ask that you just trust me and vote for me, and I'll be accountable to you. And I think the word integrity means a lot. Just to do the right thing when nobody's looking. I've worked hard for you, and people always want to know what sovereignty means. And the word sovereignty means is we're able to govern our own. So, and sovereignty is a big issue with us, just to know that those boundaries, nobody can take away from us, because it's ours.
And the federal government recognized that in us over 100 years ago.
Oh, that's correct.
And gave us our sovereignty.
That's right.
And somehow the waters got a little muddy.
Yes, but they're pretty clear, I think.
They're pretty clear right now. All right, AJ, thanks for coming on the show. And if someone wants to contact you, give us your email address so they can send an email to you, and you can respond to them. That is the best way to get in touch with you, right?
That's right.
Send you an email
or get a hold of us on Facebook. It's under AJ3 Council, and it's on Facebook. And our actual email is adam.jones0901 @yahoo.com.
Humgen can be heard on Facebook, YouTube, and Anchor Podcasts. Humgen is produced by Ageless Digitworks, a communication and media company located on Lake Eufaula.